During the last few weeks of protests, there have been multiple instances of violence, and if you only get your news from the mainstream media, especially if it's from Fox News, you probably believe that it's because of Antifa super soldiers that are rampaging across the country killing people. In reality, that's not really the way that it has shook out. Even in particular cases where initially violence, especially against police, were identified as being committed by leftists, very often turns out not to be the case. So I want to run you through a few instances of this. So first of all, we have an Air Force sergeant linked to an anti-government movement charged with murder and attempted murder on Tuesday in the shooting death of a federal security officer outside a courthouse in Oakland, California last month. So this is a story that developed over the course of the past few weeks with the initial shooting and then eventually a shootout with this individual when he was eventually tracked down. During that, this was on June 6th, Carrillo, the shooter, used his own blood to write boogaloo phrases on a vehicle he allegedly carjacked while trying to flee. So, as he was in fear of dying, he began scrawling boog and other quotes of the boogaloo pro-Civil War movement on the car. So, when those cops were shot at, one was killed and one was nearly killed, instantly the right wing blew up with, "The protesters are killing the cops." And you could see things, like this from thought leader on the right, Charlie Kirk. He had tweeted back on June 1st, Patrick Underwood was a black federal law enforcement officer. He was killed over the weekend as a result of the riots against racial injustice, which he puts in quotation marks because he doesn't believe that racism is a real thing. Says, did his life not matter too? And then he put his little thinking face that's supposed to stand in for actual thought. Well, I noticed, so when it came out that the guy who'd killed him was actually a right-winger that wants to start a civil war, and so he shot this cop to incite violence by the cops against protesters, by making them think it was a protester. Back when it initially happened, Charlie Kirk was thinking about it, but he hasn't said anything since it came out that it was actually a right-winger, which is odd. He's on to other cases that he thinks proves his point. Like, think about how cowardly, how vapid, how vacant that position is. To point this out and to specifically say, did his life not matter? Well, I guess to Charlie Kirk it did matter, very briefly, until we found out what had actually happened, and now he doesn't care anymore.
It mattered to carry his message, and then he moves on to the next one. It's just how it works. You don't actually have to care about it. You just bring up a couple of trigger words, say those things to convince yourself that you've won an argument with someone about the topic, then move on and never come back to it. So every time you hear someone say Chicago, Detroit, you know what they're talking about, and they actually have no idea or investment in any of those cities or the reasons why the bad things that happen there are happening there. It's just a way to move on and convince themselves, I won, served those libs. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
And I'd like to dedicate this one to Punks for Progress. Punks for Progress.
This is for my rules and Punks for Progress.
Punks for Progress, stand for anarchy. Fight for your liberty. We don't want your government. We don't need your services. I'm an anarchist. I'm an anarchist.
Punks for Progress on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks, brother.
That sounds right up my alley.
That was a good day when you hear a punk say the word righteous.
Welcome to Punks for Progress. I'm Reverend Aaron. This is the What the Fuck Report. We're listening to Pete Shelley, XL1, from his LP on Arista Records, 1983. For those who don't know, Pete Shelley was the frontman for the Buzzcocks. Yeah. So like I said, this is the What the Fuck Report. I'm Reverend Aaron. We're going to be doing a couple things on today's report. First off, we're going to start out by taking a look at some racist bomb threats that were sent live to the Reno City Council online meeting just the other day. And then we're going to take a look at just the broader news from the revolutionary struggle via the Punks for Progress Facebook main page. I say main page, as I always say, because we have a number of Punks for Progress Facebook pages. There's P4P New York, P4P West Virginia, P4P Indiana, P4P Philly. Please find them on Facebook, follow them. They're all admin by really, really righteous comrades from those states. And the main page, Punks for Progress, is I admin it, and all the people I just talked about admin, and a few others, and we all just bring our different regional and personal perspectives and try to share what's on our respective radars and regionally and stuff on the main page. And I think it makes for a really fantastic, hour or so as we just kind of scroll through roughly the last 24 hours of what me and all my comrades have been sharing on the page. So that's what we're doing. That's what the What the Fuck Report is all about. I'm Reverend Aaron. Welcome. Thanks so much for hanging with us. And before we get into the racist bomb threats at the Reno City Council, go ahead and check out this video, and then we'll be right back.
The bugaboos?
You are now listening to Guillotine Truck.
Well, I just seen on Fox News that NASCAR's not going to let their fans fly the Confederate flag at their races no more, and that pisses me off. That flag is history. You need to leave it alone. It's heritage, not hate. It just so happens that my heritage is hate. And I'm like Linus from Charlie Brown, and that treason rag is my security blanket. I don't feel safe if I can't have it.
You blockhead!
Since the violence began more than a week ago, the Justice Department has been tracking and arresting extremists the DOJ accuses of stoking violence at otherwise peaceful protests. And it's not just the far-left Antifa. Correspondent Leland Vittert is digging deeper into that story tonight, what we're finding out. Good evening, Leland.
Oh, good evening to you, Shan. How about that group called the Boogaloo? Well, Boogaloo can mean a lot of things. It can be used as a noun, an adjective, maybe even a verb to describe, among other things, people or events. And if there's a common thread among those who ascribe to this ideology, it's a belief that a second civil war is coming. Ryan Teeter says he's a member.
We're just a group that believes in ultimate personal freedom. As long as you're not hurting anybody else, there is no version of this where the police are not the ones at fault. The protesters have done nothing wrong. They've been attacked and they are responding with violence to violence, which is completely reasonable.
The term Boogaloo comes from a 1984 breakdancing movie, Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. Considered all but indistinguishable from the original, much as artists claim a coming civil war will serve as a repeat of the one that occurred in the 1860s. Often the Boogaloos sport bright colors or Hawaiian shirts. Experts say that goes back to a reference made online to the big luau, which in turn can be code for a civil war. The Washington Post says those with an association to the movement have shown up at 40 George Floyd-related events or protests. Las Vegas police arrested 3 Boogaloos for making Molotov cocktails to allegedly use during protests. But it's important to remember there is no recognized command and control of the Boogaloos, nor is there an agreed-on manifesto. And the lack of organization among them and other groups makes it harder on law enforcement.
There are some groups that don't have a particular ideology other than anarchy. So we are dealing with, as I say, a witch's brew of a lot of different extremist organizations.
You might remember our reporting last night about the Justice Department trying to find a possible command and control structure to who is pre-staging bricks and other weapons. What's missing is the link between any one of those groups and the acts. And obviously the lack of organization to any of these groups, the Boogaloos in particular, make it all the more difficult.
Yeah, and often part of the strategy. All right, Leland, thank you so much. So, law enforcement under the microscope tonight. Dallas removing a Texas Rangers statue at Love Field over what critics are calling the Rangers' checkered and sometimes tragic history on race. Minneapolis City Council members are looking to disband the police department, calling it irredeemable.
Okay, we're back, fam. Welcome to the What the Fuck Report. I'm Reverend Aaron. And like I said, we're listening to Pete Shelley. And then, but we're going to take a look at racist bomb threats to the Reno City Council. And of course they're right-wing, brainwashed, unhinged, violent pieces of shit. But with no further ado, this is actually, you can find this on, if you just video outline, City of Reno, Nevada. This is from 6/19/2020. So here we go.
At this time, Mr. Vice Mayor, you do have a quorum of the Reno City Council. With that, we are now moving on to our general public comment, not associated with a specific agenda item today. Should be noted for our public commenters, you are afforded 3 minutes of general public comment today. We do ask that you address the council as a whole with your statements. Please be mindful of decorum while in this room, virtual or otherwise. Your comments are expected to be polite. If there is engagement, otherwise you may be asked to stop or removed from the meeting. Mr. Vice Mayor, we're just pulling everybody up on our end right now.
Okay, there's a little reverb. Can you make sure that everyone else is muted who's not speaking? I think it got clicked over, so we're okay now.
Okay.
There we go.
Mr. Vice Mayor, first to speak is Vance Walker, followed by Caitlin Young,
Trigger warning, racist
followed by
language.
Kyle Young. At this time, we will allow
Blatant
those that I
use
have
of
mentioned.
the
You will call
N-word
3
with
at a
hard
time.
R.
You will be unmuted. Again, at the time, we'll move you over and your time will begin.
Hello?
Hello, Vance. You have
Welcome,
the floor.
Mr. Walker.
Okay, I would first like to mention the protests going on. What I mean by the protest are we need to stop this. Why can't we all just be equal, get along? And fuck niggers, fuck niggers, fuck niggers, fuck niggers.
Can you take that off of... Just disconnect.
Vance Walker has been removed based off of violation of decorum of the Reno City Council stated policies.
So,
Next to give public comment today is Caitlin
hold on
Young.
1 second before we get to Caitlin. So that's just one of a few comments that we're going to come across in the city council meeting. But there's also some really, really amazingly solid comments like this next one. So please check it out.
Followed by Kyle Young. Mr. Vice Mayor, they are not with us at this time, so we will keep them in the queue and come back. Next to speak, Mr. Vice Mayor, is Brittany Kindersmith.
Hello.
Hello, Brittany.
I am calling. Oh, thank you. I am calling in on behalf of a grassroots organization that was formed this week in the plaza at the Believe statue. We've chosen to go by the name Believe in Nevada as an homage to the plaza where it began. We have 3 demands that we would like to bring forth and have be heard that y'all could consider before the next meeting. First, we would like to see there be a public review board for the police department. We would also like there to be a monthly town hall specifically focused on racial justice. And we would like to see you all allocate budgetary funds for that will take away the barriers for people to participate in their own civic duties, be able to come to the meetings. That would be things like offering people bus pass reimbursement, offering free childcare. I moved here from Pittsburgh. This is a thing that we started doing there, and so many more people could be engaged. It honestly is super important to provide those things so the public can actually be at these meetings. And finally, I see that the mayor's not with us today, but we are curious why she hasn't shown her face at any of the in-person things. So we would like to ask that she and also members of the city council start being present and showing the community, especially the black members of our community, that you do care about what is happening.
Instead of just setting everybody on a curfew because you freaked out and got terrified of a couple broken windows.
Thank you for your comments, Brittany. Next to speak is Vera Miller, followed by Adam Barrington, followed by Rena Spansdale.
Hi, give me a second to pull up my comments. Can everyone hear me okay? So I'd just like to take a second outside of my comment to denounce publicly what that man just said as the first comment in this meeting. I cannot believe I heard that. That is all I'm going to say. I'm going to go on with my comment. And
That's Reno.
It portrays perfectly like every situation that we're in right now. In the last month, there has been unrest and people standing up to injustice, standing up in city council meetings like this, and demanding of our city officials to defund the police, to defund the police. Because of the pressure we as a community have been pushing through articles, through protests and direct action, rapid movement has been made on officer-involved shootings in Reno. We want every case expedited, and we want the cops who killed our community members to be fired and step down immediately. We say the names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Micaiah Lee, and Nico Smith and fight for the sanctity of their life, to say that they mattered, and to say that we don't ever want this to happen again. This will keep happening so long as police departments exist. Hear your community when we say we want the police and all policing entities defunded and to have all other entities cut ties from police. These funds need to be put into affordable housing and affordable health care, especially in the wake of COVID. These funds need to be put towards mental health services and other community services that aren't carceral entities. We want these police departments to be demilitarized and disarmed. They keep shooting people. We want them not to shoot people. We have said this time and time before, and we'll say it again. We want y'all to cut ties from ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Under no circumstances should you ever work with ICE. All policing bodies should cut ties from ICE. We are tired of the lies, excuses, and abuse on our communities, including our houseless neighbors, who cops were handing out citations to left and right just this week. It's time to defund the police and put funding into other solutions that aren't carceral entities. I can imagine a world without RPD and SPD.
I can.
And that's the end of my comment, but also just like, still cannot believe that someone really just came in and like said that at our city council meeting, and I just can't believe it, and I yield the rest of my time.
Thank you for your
Again,
comments, Vera. Next to speak is Adam Barrington, followed by Rena Spacel, followed by Martin Hoost.
I would like to join the last speaker who denounced the comment that was made at the beginning of this meeting. It was absolutely barbaric. But unfortunately, I can believe that somebody would say that because of the developments we've seen in really racist discourse as of late. So anyway, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. My name is Adam Barrington. I'm a state worker, and I reside in Reno. And it's a city that I've come to feel is my home. And that's after 3 years as a resident, and I moved here in 2017 from Cleveland, Ohio. And I just stated that the city feels like home to me, and it's a home to a beautifully diverse population of people who depend on each other, as well as a functional local and state government for survival, and at the very least, a sense of dignity and belonging. So let's talk about homes. In 2020, it was reported by the Reno Gazette-Journal that the total count of homeless people, or houseless, I should say, let's call them houseless, because this is their home as much as it's my home. They just don't have a house. The number reached 1,256 people. So over 1,200 people in the city of Reno don't have a house. They either reside in a shelter or on the street. And that was according to the Reno Area Alliance for the Homeless. This is unacceptable, particularly considering that the Nevada unemployment rate has reached nearly 30%, which is a record for the entire United States. And we also need to talk about education. Education, as far as education goes, Nevada used to be the 50th overall in K through 12 education. Now, we've made it to number 45. So huzzah! But we're about to we're about to cut education funding for K through 12 once more, and as well as mental health. So let's talk about mental health. In 2018, Governor Sisolak declared that Nevada was in a mental health crisis. Now he's talking about cutting mental health services even more.
Of course, because he's a fucking sellout scumbag.
This thing has an actively criticized.
Open up the state too early, which is going to directly result in dead people
health in the state of Nevada
from COVID.
Because the homeless, after all, are typically the mental health patients who need our help. People who don't have a home, they don't have health care because we have an employment-based health care system in this country. And because of austerity measures, prisons have become their hospitals, and prisons have become their homeless shelters. And this not only means that they have to suffer through the barbaric prison system in Nevada and throughout the entire country, but also that corrections officers who are underpaid are also expected to act as mental health professionals. And again,
brutal, ignorant thugs who are supposed to look out for people's mental health.
And according to a friend of mine who works in the prison system as a
fucking
mental health
the system works.
about a
That's
quarter of
fucking
Nevada's
legalized slavery.
Prison population has severe
run by
mental health
overseers.
That need to be addressed and need to be
They're fucking overseers.
And on top of that, we need to just address the fact that the state is responsible for the brutal economy that I've just described. Both the local and the federal governments they're complicit, as well as so the state, the local, and the federal government are all complicit in this. Now, specifically to Reno, Reno has a community development budget of $21 million.
Adam, thank you for your comments today. Your time is
Yes,
up.
Adam. Thank you for your comment.
Next to speak is Rena Spansel, followed by Martin Roos, followed by Gregory Martin.
Thank you, council members. I'm assuming you can hear me. My name is Rena Spansel. I live in Ward 1, and I am in solidarity and community with several of the other members that spoke today. Thank you, Vera. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Brittany. I utterly denounce the vitriolic and traumatic and triggering language that Vance Walker opened this meeting with. And it is exactly those kinds of vitriolic, traumatic forces in this community that I implore this body, this governing body, to consider as they move forward. Let me explain what I mean by consider. This body has an incredible opportunity to lean into the promise of the future, not only of this community, but of this planet. And I'm talking about a less violent and less traumatic and more perfectly just future. The first steps on the path to that future, your children's future, your niece, your nephew's future, the school children in this district's future, it just shifts massive spending on police to other community-based solutions to problems like that Adam brought up and that Sarah brought up
these issues that we have scattered out upon this public table, we know what they are. We know that one of the main ways that we can address it immediately is to address the funding sources and to shift focus away from what has not been working. And we are telling you it has not been working.
Damn right.
To something that could work. And there's lots of ways that can happen.
There's lots of excellent ideas
For example,
about how to restructure a
can
society
invest
more
in
fairly,
more public education programs,
promoting
right?
equity and
You can
equality
also
for all
decide
of
to invest
humanity.
in the 3-point solution that the Believe in Nevada group has come together with. And you also have the option of
Okay, so hold on one second. So I'm going to pause real quick.
that are
So what she's about to read, based on my understanding, is some declarations and conclusions, people who have been in the Believe Plaza sort of consistently for a while. And I don't know if this is representative of the entire, movement in general, but the people did get together as a community at the Believe Plaza, where a lot of these BLM and solidarity with George Floyd demonstrations and the uprising elements of Reno have been. And it sounds like some of them came up with this sort of 3-point plan. And I think it's worth listening to. This is members of a community getting together as a community and reaching some conclusions.
within your governing body. And you have the option of divesting from the police in your own head and heart. And I'm calling upon you to do the objectively right thing here, because we know you care about that. So,
hello, my name is Ahmed and I want to say my men have planted 7.
See, so there's someone butting in to pretend to be, I don't know, Muslim, but of course if you're Muslim, then according to these racist assholes, that means that you must be, from the Middle East. So he comes with a really horrible Middle Eastern accent to pretend, and that's what is sort of the recurring theme throughout this video, is people pretending to be of Middle Eastern descent of some kind, which is, of course, synonymous with Muslim in these racist pieces of shit's minds, and making bomb threats, to terrorize people and also to make people hate brown people and Muslim people and stuff. I mean, and these are people who clearly do, because they have no problem pretending to be something they're not and imply a death threat. And by the way, these are being investigated as hate crimes, all these calls, according to not the Nevada appeal, but the original, the city put out a statement saying that these calls are being followed up on and investigated as hate crimes specifically. So anyway, that was someone who butted into her call as she's trying to talk about what her and her comrades spent a hell of a lot of time down there on the street experiencing the real shit, trying to come up with some fucking solutions, some real solutions. Whether they're the greatest solutions in the world or not really is irrelevant. They really are trying earnestly to do that. And what does our opposition, the right wing, have to offer? Racist insults and bomb threats. Ignorant. Clearly ignorant racist insults and bomb threats. Anyway, here we go.
Clear anyone who is not speaking currently out of the queue, meaning Eddie Collins and Joshua, to mute them. Miss Spacel will come back and allow you some additional time. I'm sorry.
thank you. I understand that the governing body is doing its best to address the threats from within and without. I thank you for the important work you are doing. I ask that you do not stop and do not rest until you can find ways to divest from this violence. I'm done. Thank you. I see the rest of my time.
Phantom limbs.
Thank you for your comments, Rena. Next to speak is Martin Roos, followed by Gregory Martin, followed by Eddie Collins. As a reminder to our commenters, please continue to stay muted until it is your time to speak. Martin, you may begin.
Thank you for your time, Council. Thank you for your time, Council members. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been a 30-year resident of Reno, Nevada, and I have to say, I've been impressed with Reno's battle-born commitment to eclecticism, and I know each of you is prideful in what Reno represents in northern Nevada. I grew up in the South, and I saw a lot of horrible things there. I saw the way the law can sometimes encourage those things unintentionally. And so my warning to Reno is that the obvious haters, we throw them out of our meetings, we shut them down. What I am more concerned about are the more nuanced issues. In my research of Reno law, I did not find any specific regulation blocking no-knock warrants and other extreme police measures. To that end, I would like to see specific legislation at the municipal level against no-knock warrants. And I would like commitment from you, whether it be through a monthly meeting, through a website run by the police. I don't know. I want funding, and I want commitment from you for more transparency into what happens on 911 calls and what happens when police are required to escalate and use force. I think this data needs to be present to the public in order to know where funding needs to go in the future to better help our communities and to better police our police department. That's my comment. Thank you for your commitment to our community.
Thank you for your comments, Martin. Next to speak is Gregory Martin, followed by Eddie Collins, followed by an anonymous speaker.
Anonymous speaker.
Hello, can you hear me? Listen to what I'm about to say. If you mute me, there will be trouble. I planted 7 bombs in your city council. My men have planted them. I know where you are.
Can you mute Mr. Martin?
At this time, you are being
Mr.
removed
Martin,
from
do
our
not-
meeting for
or I will
violation
detonate the bomb.
of decorum of the Reno City Council.
You know, you can't just
Mr. Vice Mayor, our next comment is from Eddie
threaten to
Collins,
blow people up.
followed by an anonymous speaker, followed by
It's
Lucia
literally
Starbuck.
illegal to call people and threaten to blow them up, even if it's a
Hello?
joke.
Eddie of the floor.
Mr. Collins, we can hear you.
Even if
my
it's a
name
joke.
is Eddie Collins, and I recently had a problem with one of your local targets. I bought my brother, who was 10 years old at the time, bought a WWE action figure, and it got lodged up its anus, and it couldn't get it.
Okay. See, that doesn't bother me. That's, whatever. It got lodged up his anus. Well, that's some
Eddie Collins
homophobic
has
shit,
dropped
though,
out of the
actually.
call.
But, I mean, kids gonna be
Yeah,
kids, whatever, and say stupid
understand.
shit, but, like...
And the anonymous callers, that's not going to be acceptable. They have to identify who they are.
It is gross, and it just, to me, I'll return to this after we get through the video, but to me, sounds like mostly young people, maybe high school or early college age people. It doesn't excuse what they're doing, but it's relevant to, again, something I'll explain, my experience from young people pretending to be racist and terrorist, horrible people back when I was in late high school, early college age years. And we'll get to it and we'll come back to it. But I mean, so that last one was some homophobic shit, or some kink shaming thing, oh man, somebody got something stuck up their butt. You want to stick things up your butt? Please go stick things up your butt and have a fucking blast doing it, man. Woman, whoever, fucking. Anyway, but everything up to that has been really clearly racist and violent. And that's the crux of their trolling or their whatever it is they think they're doing. And the kink shaming and the homosexuality ties in as bigotry as well. It's rooted in bigotry. I mean, it's not, I think I could hear these people saying stuff like, it's just a crank call. It's kids being kids. It's silly. And it's it's not This is different than, hey, is your refrigerator running? You know, because, you know, you better catch it or whatever. Okay, this... this is a response to people standing in the streets and saying we want, all over the country, including in Reno, saying we don't want police killing black people in inordinate numbers, and we'd like that to stop, please. This is all that the right has in response. There is no coherent, fluid, thought out response from any right winger. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to go through this video and let it all play, because whether I agree with literally everything or not from the, you know, left-leaning public commenters, for the most part I agree with almost all of it, and what I disagree with is irrelevant. It's people that got together with others and tried to find solutions and alternatives to the systemic violent, systemic, racist fucking status quo that we have right now. Our detractors have, I pretend to be Muslim with a lame-ass accent and threaten to bomb you. City council members. Like, this isn't you calling your gym teacher. This is you calling the city council of Reno. But then again, we're dealing with rampant ignorance in America. Anyway, here we go.
Before they get on the phone. So we'll skip over them to the end if they can come back and have their names visible. But we'll move on to the next caller.
Okay, with that, Lucia Starbuck, followed by Joshua Gimmons.
Lucia, welcome to the meeting.
Hey, sorry, I'm just here to cover this as press. I don't have a comment.
Okay, no problem. I didn't know. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Josh Gimmons, you're next to speak, followed by Jamie Charles.
I know there's one more caller that uses a bunch of hard R, N-word in here. This might be it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I think this is
You
it.
have the floor.
Yeah, I'm having some technical difficulties. So all I wanted to say is that my men have planted 7 bombs across the city, including...
You've been removed from
7
the meeting
bombs across
based
the
off
city,
a
my
violation
man.
of the decorum. Mr. Vice Mayor, would you like to continue at this time? Or do we need a brief recess?
Yes, I'd like...
We can continue if you'd like. We only have a few more public commenters.
Yeah, let's continue, and let's just be very quick with the mute button. Obviously, our chambers is not going to tolerate violations of our decorum rules, any practical jokes, any of the racist comments that were made. Just be very quick on the mute button.
All right, Mr. Vice Mayor, next to speak is Jamie Charles, followed by Stephen Paddock.
Oh, hey. My name is Jamie. I want to say, we should kill all the fucking niggers.
La. Kill all the effing N-words.
Next to speak is Stephen Paddock.
That's what he thinks that should be done.
Hello?
Kill all black people.
Hello, you.
Ryan? Okay, I would like to say, I went to one of your wood departments lately.
Sure you do.
And I got WWE action figures.
Okay. Anonymous speakers will not be permitted into the meeting. Ms. Clerk, so remove that person. Are we finished with public comment at this time, Ms. Turner?
I think so.
Mr. Vice Mayor, from what I can see, no one else has their hand raised at this time.
Thank you.
With that...
Okay, before we approve the agenda...
So there you have... Yeah, I just think that so well illustrates what we're dealing with. Not everything that people from the left offered is exactly how we should do things, but at least they're offering up a bunch of stuff that they got together with other people and fleshed out. And some of the stuff they are offering, are offering as alternatives, I think the vast majority of it is really, really coherent, like doable stuff. The other side has we're pretending to be terrorists at home. Again, I don't know. I think you have to take that seriously. I think you have to make sure that you're not dealing with actual unhinged violent terrorists, because there's a lot of them on the right. At least 19 people have driven through protesters in the last few weeks. All kinds of people have shot protesters throughout the last few weeks. Anyway, these right-wing people, they think they just have license to kill people. A lot of them do. Not all of them, but there are those that do. And so you have to, you can't just go, haha, these are just kids making jokes. But I will say, in terms of kids making jokes, I mentioned earlier that I had an experience when I was roughly late teens, early 20s, right? Some of my friends got into this whole thing of like basically before the internet, but they were just kind of trolling in real life with being Nazis. Answering the phone, remember, this is landline days, answering the phone, white power, but they weren't racist people, and they're making jokes, okay? Now listen, it sounds like I'm making excuses for them, but I'm not. I was mortified that, and I stopped communicating with these friends at that time. I had, but turns out one of them, who I had actually even lived with and had been roommates with prior, did take it seriously. He went to Idlewild Park in Reno, which used to be a place where people from our LGBTQ community had to meet in secret under threat of violence, because Reno has long been monstrously bigoted and homophobic. But anyway, a lot of people would meet in those parks, and so it became common knowledge to a lot of other people too that was kind of going on there. And so this person that was playing Nazi on the phone and with his friends in an apartment decided to go pretend he was gay and pick up one of these people, and it led to this person I knew for real, not pretend, for real, stabbing a homosexual man in the parking lot of Reno High like 17 times. Murdered him. Playing Nazi because it's funny and it'll trip people out. It's edgy and Reno people will fucking freak out. We're not really Nazi. God, Reno people are so stupid. How could they take us seriously? Yeah, so what started out as, edgy, edgelord, in real life shitposting, resulted in someone I knew at one time and lived with at one time getting 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, exhausted all his appeals, lost all his appeals, and killed himself in a Nevada prison. Later. So if you think fucking, I'm going to call and pretend I'm a Nazi who's trying to pretend that he's a Muslim doing bomb threats online, well, history doesn't repeat, but it fucking rhymes, man. And this just reminds me of those handful of people I knew when I was young that started fucking around with that shit. None of them ever took being Nazis seriously. They never fucking went and got swastika tattoos or were going to go out and march in, for the white race. And those that survived that moment are not even remotely racist, and they're totally against racism now. And what this one person did woke a lot of people up. I would like to believe that we don't have to have that moment again in Reno. That whoever these fucking people are calling this city council just fucking around and joking around, maybe they might hear this and go, dude, if you're pretending to be a Nazi online, you're a Nazi, dude. All this stuff is heavily funded it comes from as a direct result of heavily funded propaganda from the billionaire capitalist ruling class. That it's what it is it's stochastic terrorism. You're never gonna see Tucker Carlson or somebody from One American News Network saying, call your local city council, or video chat your local city council meeting and threaten to bomb them. Okay, you're never going to see that video. But they're fed such a steady diet of fear-mongering and gaslighting of the left and all this stuff and lies about the left and just intense, backed by, a deeply rooted racism and bigotry. But it's all packaged in a way where the person who embraces it has these weird talking points to go, no, I'm not racist, I'm not a bigot, I'm not this, I'm that. So many of these people really don't believe that they're bigots. It's abundantly clear to everybody else that they are, but that's the system functioning properly, creating these people. So what sounded to me personally like a bunch of younger people busting in on a city council meeting to make really inappropriate edgelord jokes leads to other things, and I've personally seen it happen before, and when I heard them on this city council meeting video, just reminded me of those I had known when I was young. Anyway, so there you go. Racist bomb threats at the Reno City Council. Check out this video, and we'll be right back.
So some of you are new people watching us, so thanks again. Hope you're going to enjoy the show and don't be scared to come down here because we're all about a team. It's a team, it's about you and us because without you, there's no us. Without us, there's no you. So we're all a big punk rock family. We believe in unity in the scene.
Yeah.
Hey fam, welcome back to the What the Fuck Report. I'm Reverend Aaron. This is business. Side fucking 2, because I like this song H-Bomb. We are going to try to take a look at news from the revolutionary struggle via the Punks for Progress Facebook main page. I've been having real troubles with my internet all day. Everything's loading super slow, and this is literally going to be about my 6th attempt today to do this. And if it doesn't work, it'll be my last one. And you're burnt and you won't get a What the Fuck report. So if you're seeing this, you lucked out, I guess. So this is Huntington Beach, California. Karen made the intentional mistake of telling black sisters they were racist. She's getting an education. This is actually not too bad. Not too shabby. Let's take a look. Back it up just a little bit.
Emancipation Proclamation. Yesterday was Juneteenth, right? That is when officially all slaves were free in the United States. Let me tell you something. We can't live our lives. Hold on. We ain't gonna let nobody. Because let me tell you what I'm gonna do. Let me live my life. How am I supposed to live my life when I deal with racism and oppression in this country from every system of government? I'm a racist.
She's racist. See, that's this thing. It's like she's pissed now. But that's the thing. It's like if you point out systemic racism or white privilege to a white person, Fox News, One American News Network, all their fucking bullshit like Patriot Facebook pages have convinced them that that means the person, whoever said that to you, is actually racist. Now, none of these people, they've heard videos that give these lengthy descriptions as to how that supposedly makes sense, even though it doesn't. It's bullshit. But none of these people that have watched those videos can then regurgitate the garbage that they saw in the video that made sense to them at the time. They just come out and end up saying some really fucking disgustingly offensive thing like, you're the one that's racist, as a black woman in America is trying to explain the history of Juneteenth to them. It's so foul. And I totally understand why she's like, oh, hell no. But anyway, we'll let her get back to it.
We built this bitch! What do you mean?
Damn right.
How can we burn something down? We fucking built this! You would have had You would have shit without it! Racist bitch! You just told me to die! Fuck you!
Wow. Get on, Karen. Go on. Go on. There we go. I'm with that. I am okay with that suggestion. That's right. She's still just looking for talking points to try to point out how they're wrong. No, you're all wrong. I'm the one right one over here, the white lady, and all you people here saying the same thing, that your lived experience, you're wrong. You don't know what your life is. I'm a white lady that saw some videos and shit, so I know. Yeah, bye, Felicia. But, side note, those are National Lawyers Guild hats. Those are good people. Leave them alone. Let them, if you're ever at a demo, let those people in those green hats just do their thing. Maybe say thank you to them because they are there to monitor the actions of police and others and protect the civil rights of protesters. And they can offer great post-street action legal advice too. So those green hats, just stay out of their way. Let them observe and do their thing. And they observed a Karen getting her rhetorical and intellectual ass handed to her. And we move on. So this is from Indigenous Environmental Network. They were live about an hour ago at the Trump rally in Tulsa. You know, keep an eye on our page. We're going to be keeping a close eye on that rally. And, I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard just the racist history and the major insult and purposeful disrespect it was to the slaughter that happened in Tulsa. The Trump administration knew what they were doing. They changed it to try to cover their ass a little, but that was some racist-ass shit. Racist-ass shit like these people that call themselves patriots. This video from Sunland, Tahunga, California, posted 5 hours ago to Instagram. This is just really illustrative of the entire patriot movement. They really don't even realize how fascist and racist and brainwashed they are, even when they're doing Roman Sieg Heil Nazi salutes to the national anthem, while with a these 3% flag, the 3%er militia, dude. Which these are the people who, like, you know, they're patriots. They're supposed to love America and the flag, and it's a total violation of flag code, which I don't give a shit about. I very much enjoy the sight of burning American flags, but these people should care about that stuff, right? But clearly they don't. But anyway, check this out. This is if this ain't some fascist ass patriot shit, I don't know what is.
Oh my god! She just... Oh my god! Are you kidding me? Oh my god!
Totally unapologetically.
Oh my god! Wow! These are the people that live in this fucking city!
Yep.
Oh my god, I can't believe I got that.
And here's my butt, because I'm a Nazi. Ha ha, I showed you, libturds. CNN, very fake news. But I'm not a Nazi, you're a Nazi, as I Sieg Heil in the middle of the street. And the reason I'm in the street and doing this is because people were saying stop killing black people, and that made me mad. I don't like it when people say stop killing black people. But I'm not a Nazi. Here's my Sieg Heil salute. Merca. This is beautiful. Indigenous peoples for black lives. I love it. God, it's beautiful. Telejaguar. Photo by Yami Sutra Grace. Oakland. Caliph Azatlan. Left Voice. On Juneteenth, Amazonians United New York City hosted a rally and vigil not only to protest against the racist police, but also to speak out against the violence of mega corporations like Amazon that exploit black workers while directly profiting off of police violence. Read more about NYC protests here. Watch a little bit of this, huh? I think we should.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, recently decided to try to brand itself as this anti-racist organization, which, yeah, boo, like, ridiculous. It's done this by mimicking some of the calls for moments of silence by the longshoremen and warehouse workers out on the West Coast, and acting as if it is the driver of honoring these people's lives. And it's also tried to brand itself by, passing out Pan-African t-shirts, which feels extremely manipulative and is just very, very misleading. Amazon has contributed to giving police departments the facial recognition technology that they use to crack down on people. Yeah. Much of that technology, for instance, here in New York City, has been used by the Strategic Response Group, a group within the NYPD, specifically to crack down on Black liberation activists.
George Floyd.
George Floyd.
Rashard Brooks.
Rashard Brooks.
Atiana Jefferson.
Atiana Jefferson.
Ara Rosser.
Ara Rosser.
Teron Boone.
Teron Boone.
Saqib Desel.
Saqib Desel.
Stephen Clark.
Stephen Clark.
Malcolm Jean.
Malcolm Jean.
Philando Castile.
Philando Castile.
To stand in solidarity with Amazonians United and all Amazon workers in New York and around the country, because the police are not the only ones with their knees on our necks. When your boss forces you to work in crowded, unsafe conditions and risk your lives for a paycheck during a pandemic, that's their knee on your neck. When they fire you, like they did to your coworker Chris Smalls for demanding sanitary and safe work conditions, and when they turn around and call that same person not smart or articulate, that's their knee on your neck. Yeah. When Amazon says we believe Black Lives Matter, but then donates to the same police departments that are killing Black people and incarcerating Black people and using the same surveillance technology that they use to survey their workers on Black communities in order to oppress them, that's their knee on your neck. Yeah. And when Black people are disproportionately concentrated in low-wage work and lack health care and are dying of COVID-19 and still we can't catch a break from the police killing us in disproportionate numbers, that's their knee on our necks.
Yeah. Here in 2014, when we marched for Eric Garner, I don't know, I think a lot of y'all were. And the energy, it felt, the same anger and the same chants, and it's 6 years later, and we have a longer list of names, and we still have police, we still have NYPD abusing Black and brown people with impunity every day. And I don't want to be here 6 years from now with an even longer list of names.
I understand the historic context of our struggle. The violence of racism that we see in our society is pushed forward by the fact that there are some people in our society that profit from that. In this time right now, COVID disproportionately affects poor Black and brown folks because of how many of us are working class. We are the essential workers.
This is not a mistake, and it's not a matter of a few bad apples. Racism has been central to the way that the cops have operated from the beginning. They are the descendants of slave patrols and of strike breakers. And they continue to function in this society to maintain the wealth of a very few at the top. They don't care about our lives, they only care about one thing, and that's their profits. And there is only one group of people with the power to get their knees off our necks, and that is us.
Yes. Excellent video. Hey, there I am. Okay. Law and order. What is this? March in Belleville, Illinois. Pig drew a gun on a youth-led march. Jesus Christ. A Belleville, Illinois police officer pulled a gun out on protesters for no reason. Call and report them. The officer's name is Officer Kelly. Law and order.
What are you doing? Recording? You live? Yes. This officer has his gun drawn.
Wait, he's already... Hold on, I'm going to back it up. He's already got his gun drawn?
What are you doing? Recording? You live? Yes. This officer has his gun drawn.
Guy with the goatee? The younger dude with the goatee? Does he have his gun out?
It's legal to carry a gun. If they have it's legal, but if they had it. He just had his gun out. This officer right here. You're not the only one with guns. Guys, we have traffic cut off for you guys. No. He pulled a gun I need you all to screenshot him. He had his gun out. He had his gun out. Yes, you can. It's open carry.
Yeah, let's not engage because you know the law and you know your rights and stuff. So I can't engage you. And clearly I can't shoot you in the back right now. So let's not engage.
Black people with church gun drawn like that, especially in this climate. You do not ever do that. I need you all to screenshot his face. He had his gun out. He walked up to us with his gun drawn. Screenshot. I'm good. I'm just making sure we got his face.
Alright. They're terrified of the people, these pigs. Fuck. Oh, us a living. Of course they do. Of course they do. Classic Crass song as performed by The Business. Yeah. March in Belleville, Illinois. Car is refusing to back up. Well, let's see what this is.
Justice for the people. Justice for the people. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
No racist. No racist. Make sure no cars get past us and everybody be safe, please. Yeah. Divided we fall. Divided we fall. Divided we fall. Divided we fall. Divided we fall.
So this is Respect Us March in Belleville.
Shut it down.
Shut it
The
down.
police said that we aren't supposed to be in the street. We staying tight, we staying together. As you can see, it's like a motorcycle. He was just irritated because he got stopped. So we already see what kind of time people are on out here.
We shut shit down. We shut shit down. We shut shit down. We outside. We outside. We outside. We outside. We outside. We outside. I said no justice.
No peace.
No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace.
So they're marching with these two cars.
No peace.
I'm not sure what the car refusing to back up is. It's, maybe go forward a little bit. Matter.
So we got a truck
okay, here we go.
up here that is refusing to like back up. And of course we don't want people to be walking past because people have been legitimately
assaulted and attacked.
Crowds of protesters.
Yeah. And they're obviously, this is a menacing, confrontational stance the driver of this white car is taking, the white truck. Smart move on behalf of the people there not to just go around it and quote unquote ignore them. You have to be very, very careful when someone comes up and takes it upon themselves to disrupt your march.
What are you saying? Get the people to walk past them. People walk past first.
There's only about 30 seconds left in this video. So I don't think we're going to see the resolve of it. They're going to go around it. What are they doing? I see. They're going to divert around instead. Of course they do. Of course they fucking do. Of course they fucking do. What we got here? Joan Kane, Shelia Buck, Tulsa resident, has a ticket for Trump rally. Peacefully sitting and praying and wearing a hashtag I can't breathe shirt, arrested by police. Fascism alive and well in the USA. Someone looks like somebody got this off MSNBC. And there's no sound. Or it's muted.
Alex, if you can hear me,
there we go.
Transpired. Has he said that he's going to have to put cuffs on her? What did we just miss there? I was trying to strain as I listened.
Yeah, Alex, if you can hear me right now, we are just a few feet away from this, and a Tulsa police officer has instructed this woman that if she won't comply, they will remove
Won't comply with what? What has she done?
Right now, she said they're removing her.
Oh, she has a belief that's contrary to the president. So she has to be arrested. She has to be physically manhandled. That's violence. That's violence. They're doing violence to this woman.
That's what we're trying to figure out right now, Alex.
They're arresting me.
And they're placing. It appears they're placing her under arrest right now, Alex.
That's fucking violence.
I'm trying to listen to what she's saying. Bear with me.
No, I'm not arrested. I'm not.
This is disgusting. This is literal Nazi Germany shit right here. Straight up. All she did is express that she disagrees with our president.
It did not appear that she was impeding access.
One of the things that all you frickin' liberals drone on and on and on about, and all you right-wingers drone on and on about is how wonderful our country is because of free speech and whatever.
From the main entrance point, we have several Tulsa police officers. We know that handcuffs have been placed on the woman right now. I'm just behind them. And they asked her beforehand,
we're allowed to express our discontent with our political leaders, right?
To remove you from this setting right now. And so, ma'am, if you can hear me, can you tell me what officers told you that you did wrong?
She's trespassing. She has a ticket. She's in line just like all the other fucking... The only thing is, she's not in line while brainwashed. She's not in line while racist. She was in line while caring about the lives of innocent black people. How dare she? Fascism has to violently arrest her. They are physically forcing her into custody. This is violence. This is fascism. This is protecting the racist status quo. This is violence in protection of patriarchy. Violence is the strong-arm defense mechanism of the capitalist status quo in crisis. Her literally sitting there saying, "I can't breathe," drawing attention to the death of innocent black people, is a threat to the capitalist status quo. Otherwise, why would they have taken her into custody like that? What was she doing? What violation did she make? Trespassing? Then why isn't every single other person waiting in line to get into this Nuremberg rally also trespassing? What's different? What's different about her? Oh, yeah. She's not a racist, brainwashed, bigoted, misogynist lump of shit. Oh, this is so great. I love that this has been happening. They literally hang a Confederate statue in my city. This has been happening in more than one place. They're pulling down these Confederate statues and fucking lynching them. I mean, but it's just a statue. Let's not compare it to the loss of untold numbers of human lives due to real lynching. But this is a proper response. This is, hey, we're no longer gonna stand the monuments to your death cult. This is what we think of the monuments to your fucking racist patriarchal death cult. It's beautiful. Suicide or lynching. 6 people of color found hanged in less than a month. In the midst of all this, 6 people of color found hanged publicly. I mean, just some kind of shooting inside of Chaz. I suggest reading that. Jesus Christ. Why are you tanning? If you're so proud of your skin, why are you tanning? Look at these disgusting pigs. It's Master Race right there. God. What's this? This must be New York. Mark Appeloa, who I came across from our comrade A-Bear, is friends with this comrade. He regularly films out on the street. Very reliable source for action information and coverage. Let's watch a little bit of this. How long is it? Oh, it's an hour. Yeah, so we're not going to watch a full hour. But this is from 4 hours ago. He streamed this live. Shut it down.
If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we
don't get it,
shut it down.
Damn right. New York. March on LA Compton Sheriffs for Justice for Andre Guadardo. That's tomorrow at 2 p.m. So that would be, when, if you're watching this right after it posts, that would be today. So this is Sunday at 2 p.m. Now this is the article about what I covered in the beginning of the What the Fuck report. Hate speech, bomb threats, mar Reno City Council meeting. What do we have here? Another Mark Apoloa, and I know I'm saying his name wrong, and my most sincerest apologies for that. 7 hours ago, so that was a little earlier from New York. Oh, you know, these are fun. So it's The Damned Show. The Damn Show. Episode number 22, Punk Rock Planting number 3. So these are just little video shorts that the band The Damned puts out. I've seen Captain does a bunch of Monty, who I call Viv Savage. The keyboard player does some, and the bass player does some, and this is the bass player's stuff, the gardening stuff. And Dave Fanian's yet to do one, but you know, let's go ahead and watch one of these.
And hanging baskets rather than plant, pretty flowers in there. Chuck some strawberries in, couple of strawberry plants in this one. Look, all coming up already. Nice sunny place. You'll get loads off there over a really long sustained period. And here, I've got another couple of blueberries buckets, a bit sunny today. And I've got raspberries growing in them. 2 or 3 canes, plant 2 or 3 canes. This will give me raspberries for about 2 months. And out of 2 buckets, I'll have enough to last me all through the winter once they're put in the freezer. And all you need to do with these is in the late autumn or early spring, cut them right back to root level, and they'll grow up again. You can see that was cut down last year. And they'll keep growing and growing and growing. Remember that courgette I showed you in the first episode? No, never mind. Well, anyway, here it is. It's growing into a bit of a small triffid there. Lovely old job. In fact, all 4 of them grew beautifully. So I plonked them in a bed in the back garden here, in between some lavender and herbs, thyme and that sort of stuff. And there's one there, and then there's one there, and then there's one there. And these will spread out about 2 foot. And the secret with courgettes, or zucchini as they're also called, is to pick them when they're pretty small to stop them turning into fat and pretty tasteless marrows. So I pick them when they're, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches long, and then you'll find that they keep growing and keep growing. It's almost impossible to stop them from growing, and you'll get a massive supply all through the autumn. So I've got a couple of veg beds in the front here, not very big, about 7 foot by 3 foot, which is ample really for, a couple of people. Got some climbing beans in here. One of the beans I grew those from seed I showed you earlier. This is the pak choy, which is great in stir fries, grows really quickly, likes a bit of shade, so it's growing between the beans there. Got some garlic in there, got some onions coming up, planted a bit too many onions, never mind. Here's the kale, and that's growing really quickly in about a week. Kale there, and I've got some broad beans, which are really nice, picked fresh, or fava beans they're called, and I planted a couple of these into a bog roll and just boned it straight into the earth there, and of course it rots down and becomes compost as well. So there we go, end of punk rock planting with PG. Hope it's given you a few ideas to grow your own fruit and veg. So much nicer stuff you buy in the shops, stuff likes to grow, that's all you really need to know. So what are you waiting for? Give it a go.
So there you have the damn show. Now, they do a number of other things on the damn show, but yeah, that like I said, Monty does stuff. Sometimes I've seen him just play keys for a little bit, and like sometimes they'll just tell stories. Like Captain Sensible tells a lot of stories about like when they were on Top of the Pops, or just different sort of I guess iconic moments in Damned history. But anyway, definitely worth subbing the Damned so that you can keep to speed with the Damned show. Oh shit. New Bigote Smalls from Rebel Diaz. We're definitely watching this. The homie, Bigote Smalls, is back with his homies MC Paul Finn, Bert the Investor, and the brilliant Professor Lente folks. They connect to talk shit, roast each other, and break down the term defund the police. Check it out and learn you some. Music by YG, Fuck the Police, KRS-One, The Sound of the Police, DMX, Rough Riders Anthem. Hashtag defund the police. Hashtag Bigote Smalls and friends. I want to get it cute, get it framed up really nicely. And I'm going to get me out of there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and play it. New Bigote Smalls, Rebel DS. Here we go.
Bueno, ¿qué pasa, Lloro? Yao, Bigote Small, directamente de la trinchera con tío Carl. Ya estoy chato con tanta cuarentena, hermano. Yo, so, more than ever, we've been hearing a lot of new terms coming out. You know what I'm saying? Things are moving fast. Se está moviendo todo bien rápido, por eso es que fumo tanto, olvídate. Wow, estamos jodidos. Entonces, quiero llamar a mi amigo. ¿Es okay if I call my friends otra vez? Porque yo sé que a ustedes les gustó mucho mi amigo. Bigote, ¿qué te pasa, primo? That's how fucking Rough Riders roll, bitches! What's up, guys? Wow, estamos jodidos. This is El Pueblo Unido. This is how we must be, the people. Very good music, yes. Listen to this. This is hip hop. So peace, y'all. Big part what I'm trying to do is break it down for the people. You know what I'm saying? So we all speaking the same lenguaje. You know what I'm talking about? Boom. Let's talk about and try to figure out what is defund the police. Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? Hold on, I need to light my spliff for this one. Yo, look at why you look like Marsha Brady. It's the story of Marsha Brady. Face ass out of here, Joe. Whatever, dude. Fucking Bigote looks like a fucking highlighter. You don't say shit to him. Sorry, Bigote. Bueno, ¿qué va, Lloro? Whatever, dude. Fuck that. We need the police. They fucking keep me safe. Who the fuck are you gonna call? Ghostbusters? You fucking kidding me? Yo, Bert, you wildin', B. It ain't even about getting rid of police. It's defund the police. Yo, Bert look like fucking Garth from Wayne's World. Coming to get you. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm fucking terrorized. I'm fucking shook. I'm fucking super scared. Yo, truth be told, we don't never call the police. You know what I'm saying? The only time they come around is to fuck with us. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm still learning some of these terms. You feel me? If it was up to me, then your argument would be right. Cause I'm about fuck the police, fuck the ops, and abolish the motherfucking police. Dude, fucking yikes. But it is not necessary for you to be in such fear. To quote the urban griot, Lil Boosie, without that badge, you are a bitch and a half. When we defund the police, the idea is that you reallocate the funding. Fuck the police. Come on, get defunct. You ain't never heard a song, defund the police. Defund the police. The police in the United States is outrageously overfunded. You could shatter the police budget by 50%, and we would still be one of the highest carceral states in the world. To put it in a context, we have to see this as an important advance for the movement, but the essential goal will have to eventually be abolish the police. Well, that's valid. So let's look at some of the budgets here. In New York City, they have $4.89 billion a year. Los Angeles, $1.49 billion a year. Chicago, $1.46 billion a year, in which 39.6% of their total fund is expended. 40% of their total budget goes towards policing. This is outrageous. Then you look at Houston, $850.4 million, 35% of its total budget towards policing. The hometown of George Floyd. Baltimore, where we had the Freddie Gray rebellion a couple of years ago, 25.6% of its total budget is on policing. Detroit, 30% of its total budget. Oakland, outrageous, again, 41.2% of its budget. What we are seeing in Atlanta, where Rayshard Brooks was savagely murdered, 29.7% of its total budget on police. Minneapolis, where George Floyd was murdered, 35.8%. This is what we are seeing here is a militarization of our streets. But yo, if they build a community center with that money, I'm with it. I get it. It's fucking taking it too far, man. Can't fucking get rid of the police, dude. So let's use our imaginations and imagine a future where these funds go towards community centers, towards healthcare, towards education, things that have been defunded for years without any type of outcry.
That's right. Talk about defunding. Everything that actually benefits society and creates the conditions where crime would significantly reduce.
Do I think community centers are fucking good? Absolutely. Do I think after school programs are cool? Fucking yeah. Whatever, dude. I don't know, man, but fucking we need the police. Whatever that means, fucking Lente folks. We have to understand that as long as you have wealth, you will have police. You will have a upper class that feels the need to protect their property, their assets, at any means. Look, dude, if you're gonna fucking become an Antifa fucking terrorist, I don't know if our friendship can fucking continue, okay?
Good.
Yo, be no lie, when I first heard defund police, I thought it was like, yo, that's the end of defund. They don't get to kill black people no more. That's the end of defund.
And
that's what I thought it was, fam. Excuse me, can I get a word? I don't fucking agree with this, you know? Like, it's too radical, it's too much. It's fucking communism, it's anarchy. Like them cops in Buffalo and Atlanta that didn't want to go to work no more because the protests took their fun away of killing black people. These are white supremacists, no? We have to understand the roots of policing come from the slave catchers who post-Civil War transitioned into a space in which the public became the funders of this type of social control. That's some real chat right there. Wow, I'm all you. That's real chat. Capitalism will have to readjust. And so we have to look at the rise of a private police mercenary type sector, which will be a hyper surveillance via the internet and these new type of tactics of surveillance. This will remain. So that's real chat, B. And so we must not let our battle only remain the focus of defunding police. I believe in a future which we can abolish police, defund capitalism, or abolish capitalism as we know it.
You guys are fucking stupid. You're listening to fucking this old fucking fucking Professor Lentifolks, the fucking communist. The fuck?
While we must acknowledge the importance of this type of conversation and the important step of defunding the police, we must not lose focus that this does not mean a shift of power into the hands of the working class, particularly black women and the LGBTQ community. Knowledge!
What the fuck, man?
Wow, I'm a hold of you.
There we go, Rebel Diaz, Bigote Smalls and crew. Oh, by the way, I changed records. We got this here, Iggy Pop, the soldier. Getting them down in the city. We're knocking them down in the city. Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers. Well, I just put on Iggy. And the Exploited. The Exploited. Police shit. Just in case you forgot. What's this here? This is from Redfish. How long is this? I think we might want to watch this.
But I take it then you
only a minute 26? Oh yeah, hold on.
freedom-loving attempts of the
Hold on a second. Let me set it up nice and frame it good so as we can see it better. Move back here. Go ahead and knock them down.
But I take it then you support the freedom-loving attempts of the peaceful marchers in Alabama and these places.
You don't get freedom peacefully. Freedom is never safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom. And when black people in this country come out from under the mental straitjacket that the Negro clergymen have placed them in, and begin to see that the only way you can get freedom is to get it the same way the white man in this country got it from England, or he says he got it from England. He was willing to pay the price for freedom. When you're willing to pay the price for freedom, then you get it. But the Negro in this country has never been willing to pay the price for his freedom. All of the price that we have been paying in the past has been freedom for the white man. We fought abroad so that the white man in America could be free today to sick police dogs on us, to beat our people in the heads with police clubs, and to turn water hose on little women and children and babies simply because they want to walk down the street like decent human beings. That's now the only way you can have peace is to eliminate those injustices, and the American white man is not going to eliminate them. He's going to talk that pretty talk, but he'll still continue to practice those inhuman deeds.
Damn. Okay, look. That was a minute? How long was that? A minute 26? Yeah. Malcolm X, in little over 1 minute, explains why freedom can't be won peacefully. Now look, I have another minute 26 seconds that I am definitely willing to devote to hearing that one more time.
But I take it then you support the freedom-loving attempts of the peaceful marchers in Alabama and these places.
You don't get freedom peacefully. Freedom is never safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom. And when black people in this country come out from under the mental straitjacket that the Negro clergymen have placed them in, and begin to see that the only way you can get freedom is to get it the same way the white man in this country got it from England, or he says he got it from England. He was willing to pay the price for freedom. When you're willing to pay the price for freedom, then you get it. But the Negro in this country has never been willing to pay the price for his freedom. All of the price that we have been paying in the past has been freedom for the white man. We fought abroad so that the white man in America could be free today to sick beat our people in the heads with police clubs and to turn water hose on little women and children
Or
and
tear
babies
gas.
simply because they want to walk down the street like decent human beings. That's now the only way you can have peace is to eliminate those injustices.
That's right.
And the American white man is not going to eliminate them. He's going to talk that pretty talk, but he'll
That's
still
right.
continue to practice those inhuman deeds.
That's right. Redfish. Generally, really like redfish. What do we got here? It's Going Down's latest podcast. This is America number 119, Down to Their Level. If you are not following itsgoingdown.org, if you haven't checked out their website or following them on all your various social media platforms, you should. Excellent, excellent resource for anarchist and anti-fascist information, news, and history. Not teaching black students about the injustices black and indigenous people face as a result of colonialism is a conscientious erasure of history that benefits white supremacy. From Illuminative. Our research shows invisibility and erasure is one of the biggest barriers Native peoples face in advocating for tribal sovereignty, equity, and social justice. We're grateful for Native educators and advocates who fight for the teaching of the true history of this country. Looking for hashtag Native lesson plans for your student this summer? Download free culturally based activities from our Native Education for All initiative here. And there is, of course, a link. $550 Palestinians to be homeless after Israel demolishes entire Jerusalem neighborhood. So yeah, while all this uprising has been happening, Israel's been totally moving into fucking disputed territories in the West Bank and just like, it's disgusting. They're just demolishing people's homes and just stealing land. Crime Think. Yet another excellent resource for anarchist information, news, and history. Congratulations to demonstrators in Raleigh who have torn down 2 Confederate monuments. North Carolina has a years-long history of tearing down monuments via direct action. That's true. Let's take a look. Is it long? Oh, 10 seconds. Yeah. One more time. Yes. More and more and more, please. Shower of Hope. These people are freaking amazing. They provide hygiene care and other services to members of the houseless community in Southern California. Showers. They're just amazing. Thank you to our team in South El Monte at Fletcher Park. We are here every Thursday afternoon. Showerofhope.org. Is this more Huntington Beach? Los Angeles. Today, people in Tujunga, Sunland, that's where the lady was Zeke Heiling, stood with Black Lives Matter and celebrated Juneteenth on Foothill Boulevard. However, across the street in a parking lot, Blue Lives Matter, Trump, MAGA, Confederate flag-hugging, counter-protesting terrorists showed up. There is no place for racists in this country anymore. Crucially important distinction, because there has long been a place for racists in this country. That's changing, it looks like, which is fantastic. We condemn Nazi salute, Confederate flags, destruction of posters and signs that stand for fellow humans, assault on protesters. The white hat, sunglasses, Trump Rambo flag waving man assaulted a BLM protester. All the above we witnessed today. Photo, video provided by courtesy of Jennifer Kuchov. Okay, this is... You know, when they talk about, it's the Democrats, the Nazis and the Confederates, and the Klan was actually the Democrats. Blah, 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 blah. You know, when they say that shit. I mean, here they are doing fucking Nazi salutes. You saw this woman here, this in the blue pants earlier, the video of her doing the Nazi salute. Here they are with the Confederate flag. I mean, Trump flags here. Blue line, cop, fucking bootlicking shit. This is fascism. Get up and get out.
I wonder, Buster, if you heard the word.
Trump spends Juneteenth hyping rally, tweets threats to Tulsa protesters. I mean, and anarchists and BLM people, and I mean, this man's a Nazi. He threatened Black Lives Matter protesters on Juneteenth. He's a fucking racist, fascist scumbag, man. It's legit racist fucking scumbag. This San Diego labor participated in a caravan and rally in support of Black Lives Matter that took them from downtown San Diego to La Mesa. Beautiful. What do we got here? Compton Tenants Union. The mother of Andres Gallardo speaking at the community action against the Compton sheriffs who murdered her son yesterday. Families should never have to suffer this much pain. Police terrorism has no place in Compton. I would add any more. Andres Gallardo's mother speaking in community action against Compton sheriffs who murdered son. Okay, it's written. Oh, I see. It's already been translated. My bad. Okay. Yeah, let's listen to some of this.
Las gracias por el gran apoyo que me están dando por mi niño, porque mi niño no se lo merecía esa muerte que me le han dado. Mi niño era un trabajador, vino a trabajar aquí para pagar su carro, para terminar de pagar su carro. Mi niño era un buen niño, le ayudaba a su padre, a su madre, a cualquier persona que encontraba, le ayudaba, señores. Mi niño no se merecía la muerte esta que le dieron. Les agradezco todo porque Dios les va a pagar a ustedes lo que están haciendo ahora por mi hijo. Y eso tiene que parar porque ahora es mi niño y mañana puede ser otra persona, señores. Y les agradezco muchísimo con el alma que hasta Dios que les va a pagar lo que están haciendo, señores.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish, otherwise I would translate. But, you know, this is a dude that was young. I believe he was 18, 19 years old. Working as a on-site security guard. Apparently some cops come up, freak him out, scare him. He runs off, so they murdered him. You know, how dare you be scared of cops? They'll kill you if you dare be afraid of them. I mean, it just doesn't stop. It's like, these cops, they literally, in the face of all these demonstrations and this uprising, it's almost like, no, fuck you. We're going to kill more. We're going to kill more. Fuck you. You don't like it? You don't like that we fucking kill black people? A bunch of them are quitting all over the place because one cop got arrested. Which is blatantly them saying, man, really? You think we can't just murder anybody we want whenever we want? Fuck you. We'll go on strike. And it's just like, good, get the fuck. But it's totally emblematic of how disgusting and how violence and brutality and murder are like central to the way these people see their job descriptions. Fucking straight up. This is here. This is another Rebel Diaz. But I don't think this is not a bigote. This is something more serious, I'm sure. Let's see. Not that bigote's messages aren't serious. But let's see. This is the young man killed by Atlanta police in that Wendy's parking lot. This is heartbreaking. Hashtag Rayshard Brooks. In his own words, breaking down his struggle from being on probation, which as a movement we need to address, fucking A, to being a father and wanting to spend more time with his kids, to trying to find work to make ends meet to feed his family. His struggle is the struggle of so many of our friends and family. The root of our pain is this capitalist, racist economic system that enforces by the police. That's enforced by the police. Where profit, property, and production have more value than human life. This was a thoughtful, reflective young man speaking his truth. He was clear on his situation as a black man on probation in America. Rest in power, Rayshard Brooks. Hashtag Presente.
Okay, well, I'm Rayshard Brooks, 27 years of age, have 3 kids, I'm happily married. I want, things to be better, within probation and parole and also monitoring. If you do some things that's wrong, you pay your debts to society, and that's the bottom line. And, I just feel like some of the system could, look at us as individuals. We do have lives, it's just a mistake we made, and not just do us as if we are animals. It's making us as individuals feel like we're locked in boxes. Even though we have been incarcerated, it's hurting us, but it's hurting our family the most. Because we have kids, we have jobs, we have a lot of things that, life situations. We are individual people. So as we go through these trials and tribulations, it's hurting our kids, and it's taking away from our families. You have to try and go out, make memes, and yet my kids, I want to spend some time with my kids, but I really don't have the time. I have to try and go out, make money for this, make money for bills, or try and get myself back on track. It's just a lot of pressure, with just having all of that on your shoulder and on your back. It's just a lot of pressure. And some people, they just can't deal with it. It's restricting us. They're telling us, hey, you have a curfew and, certain things, you have to be in a house, just restricting us from the everyday life. It's just hard for us, at times, because we're trying to do the right thing and we're restricted. Probation is not there with you every day, like a mentor or something. They're not taking you out to find a job. I feel like it should be a way for you to have some kind of person, like a mentor, assigned to you to, keep your track, keep you in the direction you need to be going. But here yet, I'm trying. I'm not the type of person to give up. And I'm going to keep going until I make it to where I want to be.
Yeah, I deserve better. Yeah, they murdered that man. They just went and murdered him. Getting close to wrapping it up, fam, but scroll a little bit longer and see what else is on the P4P fans' radar. Fox Antifa if you're pro-cop, you're going to get clowned on. Red. Short, to the point, and needed. It's Black Lives Matter Philly. A collective of radical black local organizations today announced a set of demands to the city of Philadelphia to defund police and end state violence against black communities. Further rollout will continue online via social media and an online petitioning campaign. During this time of rebellion against police terrorism and state violence, we, the radical black organizing community in Philadelphia, make the following immediately actionable demands upon the city of Philadelphia to abolish, by which we mean to permanently and holistically eliminate the structures of policing and related state violence and endangering our communities. Until our demands are met, we will be in the streets demanding justice for the black community. The statement of demands begins. There's a link, and there is all kinds of... I'm not going to read through all of this, but I highly suggest you do. There is some really solid leftist infrastructure growing on in Philly from what I've seen. Not that there hasn't been there for quite some time. I highly suggest people go look at our past Philly reports with Ted Kelly, which are incredible. There's a lot of really, really devoted, caring, kick-ass, revolutionary, organizing leftists in Philly. This is Affirm Los Angeles. On Saturday, meet us at Raleigh Park. Okay, so this is a past action. This was today. There may be video on our page later of the action itself. Who knows? I would look and see. Young shelters and drop-in centers struggle to safely open. So this is the thing. We got cities opening all over the place, but it shouldn't be, which means that these places need to open. At least they're taking... God, what a complex time we live in. Dealing with all this crap, you know? People are so exponentially more vulnerable now because of this COVID stuff. We have depression era unemployment numbers. We did not level the spike of the first wave of COVID. We're still in it. There will be another spike. The shit continues. Boots on the Ground was live. Juneteenth celebrations at West Hollywood.
50% more likely to vote in every other election for the rest of your life.
No. Here we go. Not today, Coffee Can. Man flips out at a coffee shop and demands the shop take down a BLM poster. All right, let's see this asshole.
All lives matter. All lives matter. I'm making a protest. I am making a protest. I am making a protest. You are racist. And you are the racist. I don't. You need to take up the sign. It's offensive. You need to take up the sign.
You are choosing to be offended, so you don't have
I'm not choosing to be offended.
Yes, you are. You're totally choosing to be offended.
And I live upstairs. Yeah, but don't take up the sign. That's not racist. I heard this whole conversation upstairs from my room. Yeah, this is the most racist thing out there.
Oh, this is the most racist thing out there, saying that Black Lives Matter. I think that you harassing someone for saying that black people matter is one of the most racist things.
Why? Because it's offensive to you.
It's offensive to you. Fuck you. No, it's not. No, it's not.
No one's taking that side on you.
You're just butthurt that you don't get to be fucking supreme hot shit in your imagination anymore.
I didn't talk to you, and I didn't talk to you.
That shit is
Yeah, well, she
equalizing.
didn't talk to you, man.
This sign caused the whole problem.
Oh, it caused the whole problem. Yeah, not the cops killing black people. That's not the problem. It's a sign. Yeah, one sign in his window. In this window.
There's this racist bitch up here. You need to leave because you're causing problems.
I know, and that's the thing. These idiots, they don't understand. Like,
I heard you come from my room.
they like to call us terrorists and all this shit. But this dude took it upon himself to just come up and start harassing this business because they have a sign in their window that says they care about black people. But, you know, we're the violent terrorists. We're the real problem. That's the real racism. Strange that it's only ignorant white people that ever get hurt over these signs.
Why do black lives not matter when they kill by blacks?
Wait, is this...
saying that? Who is saying that? That's also not what that means.
Because one black person dies, you kill another 10.
You guys see what this is?
Kill
this
another
guy's just gonna
10?
upload this shit later to like some like 4chan bullshit. Like this is just like that right wing trolling bullshit.
Can the Democrat Party oppose it? I'm not talking to you anymore until you take off the sign.
You're not talking to her anymore until she takes that sign? Don't talk to her anymore. Like, please.
Perfect.
Hey man, I'd like to exchange some money for like goods. Could you like get out of the way?
Yeah, like I'd actually like to conduct business, and you're blocking my ability to conduct business. Like, and you get the fuck with your racist garbage.
The world doesn't work like that, my friend.
Jesus Christ, this goes on for 13 minutes, and I don't have the stomach to sit through it for 13 minutes. I think I really like that Iggy Pop, but I want to play a little bit of Richard Hell and the Voidoids, and then I think we'll go ahead and wrap this shit up. Scroll through one or two more posts just to give us a reason to listen to Richard Hell and the Voidoids. The Kid with the Replaceable Head is the first song off of this album. Sorry. Destiny Street. Richard Hell and the Voidoids. Tulsa motel guard's deadly encounter with guest raises issues of race, private security oversight. Okay. Shut down the ports today on Juneteenth. Yeah, they shut down all the ports yesterday. And this is 20 hours ago. So today on Juneteenth, June 19th. I'm not reading all the tags. Bay Area, to express our solidarity with the Movement for Black Lives and Liberation and the IL, that's the Longshoremen Workers Union, port workers who are shutting down all West Coast ports. Long live international solidarity, justice for George Floyd and all victims of racist state violence. Filipinos for Black Lives, Filipinos for Black Liberation. Filipinos stand in solidarity with Black self-determination. Organize resistance to repression. Justice for seafarers, justice for Grand Princess cruise ship workers. Solidarity against police and state violence. Activism is not terrorism. Fuck yeah. Proper intersectional solidarity. I love it. AFA loves Black Lives Matter. Anti-fascist action, that is. How Black Lives Matter reached to Indonesia and inspired solidarity with Papuans. Looks like a fantastic article. Indigenous Rising Media, this is also... they're live outside of the Capitol building in Austin, Texas, showing up in defense of Black Lives on Juneteenth. So it's like they were in Austin yesterday, but their Indigenous Rising Media is also in Tulsa today. Trump rally stuff. I think this is what we'll go out on. This is actually put together by Refuse Fascism, by the RevComs. But it's really an excellent explanation of what happened in Tulsa and a little bit of the Juneteenth history. So I'll read this and then we'll go ahead and watch this video. But featured on episode 13 of the RNL show, which is Revolution Nothing Less. Watch the whole episode and subscribe. So there's the link to their YouTube. Find the RevComs on YouTube. The 1921 Tulsa Massacre and the destruction of Black Wall Street. Last week, Trump announced plans to do his first campaign rally since the COVID epidemic. He called the rally for June 19, Juneteenth, the day on which the emancipation from slavery is celebrated. This from someone so racist, he still upholds the Confederate generals who fought to maintain slavery. And he called it for Tulsa, the site of one of the worst racist massacres of black people in U.S. history in 1921.
Okay, here's a pop quiz. What was the site of the biggest race riot in the history of this country?
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
That's right, the great state of Oklahoma, home of lovable farmers and ranchers who just need to learn how to be friends and share all those wide open spaces. In the decades following the Civil War, Oklahoma was the destination for both white settlers and former slaves looking to build a new life. It was also the final destination of the Trail of Tears, the forced march of the southeastern Native American tribes, but that's another American crime story. When Oklahoma became a state in 1907, the very first law they passed legalized and enforced racial segregation. After all, they had to make it a real American state. Tulsa, then, was a sleepy town of 10,000. But with the discovery of oil 3 years later, the population grew to over 100,000 in just one decade. Among those were thousands of black people looking for a better life and hoping to escape the worst of Jim Crow Mississippi, Georgia, and other states of the Old South. In 1921, Tulsa was strictly segregated. Black people could work in town, but all black residents were required to live and shop in the Greenwood district of northern Tulsa. Greenwood's segregated economy, self-contained and self-sufficient, was so successful that it became known nationally as the Black Wall Street. Black-owned grocery stores, banks, libraries, hotels, restaurants, movie theaters, and more lined Greenwood Avenue. But here's what happened on May 30th, 1921. Dick Rowland, a 19-year-old black shoe shiner working downtown, enters the elevator of the only building with a restroom that blacks can use in the area. Sarah Page, a white 17-year-old, is the elevator operator. When the door closes, Page cries out, and Rowland, who may have just tripped and stepped on her foot, runs off, knowing what can happen. Sure enough, he's alleged, without evidence, to have assaulted Page. He's arrested the next morning and held in a jail cell above City Hall. Then the headlines hit. The Tulsa Tribune declares nab Negro for attacking girl in elevator, and headlines an editorial, quote, "To lynch Negro tonight," end quote. Within an hour, a lynch mob in the hundreds descends on the courthouse. Word spreads throughout Greenwood that whites are storming the courthouse, and Rowland is in danger. At 9 p.m., a group of 25 armed black men, some World War I veterans, drive to the courthouse determined to stop the lynching. The local authorities refuse their offer to help, and they leave. But the heavily armed white mob is incensed when a group of 75 black men return to the courthouse and are again turned away. A white man approaches an armed black Army veteran and demands he turn over his gun. A fight breaks out, and a gun goes off. Historian and author Scott Ellsworth wrote, "While the first shot fired at the courthouse may have been unintentional, those that followed were not. Almost immediately, members of the white mob, and possibly some law enforcement officers, opened fire on the African American men, who returned volleys of their own. The initial gunplay lasted only a few seconds, but when it was over, as many as a dozen men, both black and white, lay dead or wounded. Outnumbered more than 20 to 1, the black men began a retreating fight toward the African American district, with armed whites in close pursuit. They tried to kill all the black folks they could see, a survivor, George Monroe, recalled later. As many as 500 white men and boys are immediately sworn in as, quote, special deputies, end quote, and told to, quote, get a gun and get a nigger, end quote. Deputies pass out weapons from a sporting goods store across the street. White rioters begin firing on blacks and setting fire to black-owned homes and businesses late into the night. Then as dawn approaches, literally thousands of armed whites, some estimated as many as 10,000, gathered in 3 locations on the edges of Greenwood. A siren sounds at daybreak, and the mobs of white terrorists launch their invasion. These armed white mobs include over 150 Tulsa police. They set about systematically killing, looting, and burning the entire district of Greenwood, block by block. Armed whites break into black homes and businesses and force the people outside, where they are led away at gunpoint to internment centers set up by the authorities. Anyone who resists is shot. If guns are found inside, the occupant is shot. Homes and businesses are looted, then set on fire with torches and oil-soaked rags. House by house, block by block, Greenwood is demolished. Even airplanes are used to shoot black people from the air and drop kerosene bombs on buildings, setting them ablaze. Tremendously outnumbered, black Tulsans fight back. Riflemen take positions atop the belfry of a newly built church to try and halt the white invasion. But the church is burned to the ground. Deputized police and the National Guard units arrest 6,000 Greenwood residents. Black Tulsans don't go down without a fight, but they're outgunned and outnumbered. Survivors recounted black bodies loaded on trains and dumped off bridges into the Arkansas River, and, most frequently, tossed into mass graves. By noon on June 1st, these white mobs had murdered more than 300 black Tulsa residents. They had turned 40 square blocks of Greenwood into a scorched wasteland, including 1,256 homes destroyed, along with virtually every other structure, churches, schools, businesses, even a hospital and library. More than 10,000 residents were left homeless. Thousands of black Tulsans spent the winter living in tents. Many left for good, having had enough of Tulsa, Oklahoma. A grand jury investigation organized by Oklahoma's governor in the days after the massacre referred to the events in Tulsa as a, quote, Negro uprising, end quote.
Negro.
Concluding, quote, the assembly was quiet until the arrival of armed Negroes, which precipitated and was the direct cause of the entire affair, end quote. But that ain't all, folks.
It sure smells sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain.
The Tulsa race riot was erased from the state and country's history for 76 years. It wasn't until 1997 that a commission was established in Oklahoma to study the riot. And what did they find? Quote, not one of these criminal acts was then or ever has been prosecuted or punished by government at any level, municipal, county, state, or federal.
There you have it, fam. That is news from the revolutionary struggle via the Punks for Progress Facebook main page. I really appreciate y'all hanging out, taking the time to watch it, sit through it all. Hope you learned something. Maybe it inspired you to get involved in a positive way in your own community. I don't know. But I want to say much love and thanks and respect to everyone in the P4P fam for sharing all the stuff that you do to our page so we can provide this experience for people. And lastly, before we get out, I do want to say much love, thanks, and respect to anybody and everybody who does what they can to get out in the street and do what they can to help just a little bit, to help make lives just a little bit better. Anyway, really, it's just appreciated. And, you know, everybody's life is different and your circumstances are different, and what you're able to contribute varies from person to person. So I just want to say, whoever took a little extra initiative to try just a little bit harder to make life a little better for everybody else, thanks so much. And thanks to you for watching the What the Fuck Report. I'm Reverend Aaron. This is Punks for Progress, and we will see you next time.